Hello everybody, Lord Almighty here. Today is Sunday, March 26th, 2023, and I've come here to a local pond looking for some early season largemouth bass. The water's actually a lot lower and clearer than I would have hoped. This place seems to fish a little bit better when the water is high and on the murky side, but I'm gonna see if I can make something happen anyway. And because it's so clear, I decided to start out with the swim bait. I was thinking about going with the chatterbait, but that might make a little bit too much racket at the moment. So I'm going to start with the swim bait, and I will see if there aren't any bass that are looking to come up shallow. This pond looks like it's ahead of a lot of the other ponds in the area. You can see it's already pretty well vegetated, and there's even some spatter dock right there. It's either spatter dock or lily pads that are starting to come up. So if the vegetation is at that stage, I'm hoping the fish are at that stage too. Well guys, the way I see it, this bite could go one of two ways. One, this afternoon sun on this cloudless day warms up the water a few degrees and coaxes a few fish up shallow to feed, and we can hang a few today. Two, with this water being so clear and this sun being so bright, it actually puts the fish down and moves them out deeper, and we're gonna get shut out today. Also complicating things, we are post front. We had some rainstorms come through yesterday, so we got high pressure, we got pretty substantial breeze, so all the complications that come with that are in play today as well. So we might have to think a little bit to figure these fish out. Osprey. Wonder if he's got a bead on something. Oh, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Did he get something? I can't tell. Nah. He missed. Well, it's a good thing to know I'm not the only fisherman who misses fish. Oh, there he's got something. Looks like maybe a sunfish. I swear, it looks like he's showing off to me. Alright guys, well, I gave that swim bait about a half an hour, and I might have gotten a couple of hits on it, but if they were real lazy and they were just kind of bumping it. So I'm going to switch over to a spinnerbait. It's got some flash, it's got a bit of a smaller profile. Maybe this will do it today. He was sitting right under this matted vegetation. He just charged out of there and thumped it. Whoop. Come on, buddy boy, get up here. All right, not big, but a start. I had a feeling there'd be one here, not just because of the vegetation, but because this metal seawall has been getting hit by the sun all day long, and it's got to be radiating a lot of heat into this cold water. So I think that fish was sitting right there to get warm and also for cover. So those look like the two keys for today so far. We need cover and we need warmer water. Big surprise for early spring, right? There we go. Another little bass. Cover and warmer water. We're still by this this retaining wall, and he was sitting underneath all this wood here. All right, we got us a pattern. Well guys, that pattern fizzled out, and it's not because I wasn't catching fish on it anymore. It's because I ran out of places to run it. There were only those couple of spots along that seawall with the cover next to it, and I fished around other spots in this pond and haven't gotten a touch. There might be another pattern where I could catch fish out of this pond, but what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave this spot and I'm gonna go someplace else with what I have learned in mind. I'm gonna be looking for a place that has warmer water with cover. So I'm not quite sure where I'm gonna find it. And to top it all off, I gotta make sure that it's at a place that is not currently closed for the spring trout stocking. So give me a minute to think, and I will see you in a couple of seconds. All right, guys, here we are at spot number 2. I actually have not fished this spot in several years. This is the upper creek arm to a much larger lake. And this spot came to mind because it's got wood cover, which is what we had at the last spot. And this water should be warmer because, as you can see, it's murkier than it was at the first spot. Now, that might confuse you because I'm sure you've heard me say before that I don't like fishing cold, murky water. But murky water and muddy water warms up faster than cold water. So because it's 60 degrees and sunny today, and the sun's been beating down on this water all day, it's probably a couple of degrees warmer than some of the other places around here. And it's for that reason alone that I like what I see here. If it was 40 degrees and raining, I might look elsewhere. There we go, fish on. Feels like it might be a decent fish. Oh yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad at all. I will take it. That's a solid, it's a thick fish. I'll bet he's pushing 2 pounds. Very nice. Alrighty. What did you do? Look at this dude. He's all turned around. All right, go that way. Go that way. He's still not going. There he goes. Just had to give him a little poke in the butt. Well, I had to make a lure change, guys, because a lot of this shoreline is choked off, as you can see, by brush and limbs, and it makes it very difficult to make good casts and work that spinnerbait effectively. So I switched over to a jig, which I can just kind of make short pitches with and just kind of let it fall so I don't have to worry about reeling it in fast. We'll see if that works. It should work. I mean, jigs are a classic early spring bait, right? They move slow, they're big and bulky. Bass love them. All right, so the jig idea fizzled out. And do you remember when I said that the spot that I was fishing was the upper part of a much bigger lake? Well, here it is. I am at the very, very lower end of the lake, and I'm just here to see if I can get some kind of a bonus fish. This does not at all fit in with my pattern of warmer water and cover, but sometimes this place can surprise you. So I'm going to throw around a square bill crankbait, which is kind of another bait out of left field that I don't use very often. So if I wind up catching anything, it's going to be a little weird. Ooh, that felt like a hit. That was. Wonder if he'll come back and get it again. I am getting all sorts of hits here by this outflow. I don't know what they are. I would say the most likely answer is they are white perch, because there's plenty of white perch in here, but they could be bass. They could be stripers. There are stripers in here. So I switched over to a lipless crankbait, and I'm gonna work it through here and see if I can't stick one of these things. There we go. Haha, it is a white perch. I switched over to a little curly tail grub. Figured if they were white perch, they'd be all over it, and this one certainly was. All right, not what I set out to catch today, but nice bonus. I'm happy with that. And if there's a school of them out here, I'll see if I can get some more. All right, guys, well, those fish definitely seem interested, but they were just kind of tapping at it. Maybe it was a bit too big for them. So I switched to some smaller tackle. I got my spinning rod here, and I got a little crappie jig, same color. And I'm gonna see if they can get this in their mouths a little bit better. There we go. Ah, I love instantaneous feedback. Oops, give me that back. All right. There we go. It's tough fishing this light little jig in this heavy wind, because it does get blown all over the place. But I'll see if I can make it work. I mean, if I can make it work, I'm getting bit. Because that's my second fish in 3 casts with this thing. It also doesn't help that this setup is a little bit heavy for throwing crappie jigs. This is a medium light with 8-pound fluoro on it. So having trouble getting enough distance, but apparently it doesn't seem to matter because all the fish are like right around here. So as long as I can get any kind of cast out there, I got a good chance. There we go. The hits are really tentative. I mean, you can see they're not like engulfing this thing. They're getting it right on the front of the mouth. And I'm getting a lot of hits where they're just kind of slashing at it. But, I mean, I'm getting enough hits so that I'm hooking up enough. I don't think I need to change anything. There we go. Ah, he's off. That's because they're hitting it aggressively, but they're not like sucking it in. They're just slashing at it. Got that one. There's a little guy. I mean, I'm getting hits every cast, and I would say I'm landing maybe a third or a fourth of all the hits that I get, which honestly, I'm fine with that. I don't have to catch every single one that hits as long as I'm catching enough. And I'm definitely catching enough. There we go. Sometimes they hit it light like a crappie does too. You just kind of feel the slightest little tick. There we go. Man, these things are fun. Had I known these things were here, I might have just forgone the bass fishing, grabbed my light pole, and caught these all day. There we go. Oh boy. Fun times. Give me that back. They're not really big. I've certainly seen much bigger white perch than this, but I'm still having tons of fun with these guys. And I'll bet you there might be a couple of big ones mixed in with them. A couple of 3/4 to 1 pounders. Oh yeah, there we go. Much easier going by feel. There's a nice one too. Woo, yeah. Told you there might be some bigger ones mixed in with them. Alrighty. There we go. Little guy. Let go of my grub. These things have strong jaws today. There we go. Wonder how many are down there. Oh, this one's got a wound on his neck. Looks like something took a chunk out of him once upon a time. Seems to be fine though. There we go. That was just the tiniest tap. Let go. Let go. All right. Alrighty, there we go. I think that one might have been playing with it for a little while. You played with it just a little too long, buddy. you wound up with a piece of metal in your mouth. There we go. Oops, look at him flaring his gills out like that. Well, he was doing it. You gotta be careful when they do that because their gill plates are really sharp. They could give you a nasty little poke. Oh, I was just about to pull it out of the water. And he said, no, I'm not done with that yet. All right, give me that back. All righty. There we go. Boy, that was a hefty thump. I felt like a bass picking up a Ned rig. All right. Man, this is bonkers, and I love it. There we go. Oh, he's off. We won't show that one. Magic of video editing. I don't miss fish. I don't know what you're talking about. There we go. You might have picked that up off the bottom, because I was just kind of letting it sit, letting it sink all the way down. Okay. Another one. There we go. Wow, they are just absolutely stacked in here. I might get sick of this. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. If it keeps up at this rate, it might not be long. Oh, wow. He hit that one on the drop. There we go. That one's one of the nicer ones we've been getting. Okay. There we go. Wow, this one's fighting hard. I don't even think he's that big. No, he's really not. It's about average. All right. I love fish that punch above their weight. There we go. Oh, there's a chunky one. That might be the biggest one yet. I'm gonna have to lip this dude. I don't think I can get my hand around him. Wow, All right. Beautiful. There we go. I saw him come up and hit that. It was like 6 inches below the surface when he came up and got it. Awesome. All right. There we go. This one ran with it a little bit. But it's really inconsistent. Sometimes they pop it, sometimes they slash it, sometimes they run with it. It's like these fish don't quite know what they want to do, except they know they want to eat something. They're just not sure how they should do it. There we go. Oh man, I've lost count. It's got to be 20. I had to have caught 20 of these things.
How many you got, bud?
I must have caught 20 of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White perch?
Yeah, white perch.
Yeah. That's all you got?
Yeah, out of here, that's all I got.
All right.
There we go. Another one. Wow. Gonna wind up leaving them biting, which is never a bad thing. There we go. This one's fighting hard. All right. There we go. Another notch in the belt. There we go. That was a thump. All right. Give me that thing back, would you? Ah, man, they're tearing this grub to shreds. There we go. All right. You know what? One last fish before that sun goes down completely. That's a good way to end it. Well, that turned into a really fun day. Started out bass fishing and did okay. I mean, we got 3 bass in a couple hours, which is fine for the end of March. And then I came to this spot just hoping that something would happen, that anything would happen, and found that school of white perch. And man, once I figured out what they wanted, it was game on. It was non-stop action from my first cast with that little curly tail up until that sun finally sank below the horizon. So all in all, I have 0 complaints about today, and I am going to go home quite fulfilled. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next adventure.